We are live. This is the market update, evening edition. I am your host, Bill Noble. Should you eat the dip? What do you make of developments in, I don't know, can we call it the world of politics? What should you do about that? I'm going to tell you. Ethereum, is it dead? When you look at the charts of Ethereum versus Bitcoin in the PowerPoint, don't miss it. When you see these charts, you're going to be like, my God, how much lower can this thing really go? Not much is the answer. This show is brought to you by my Patreon. Patreon.com/unhinged crypto. I got a little story for you. I'm going to give you a story. How about this story? This is the Patreon store. Somebody in a prior stream just told us that he bought this $27 report, got long one of the coins in there, and paid off his credit cards. Paid off his credit cards. Let me bring this up right here. This report, this AI report, paid off somebody's credit cards. Hats off to you, sir. Hats on to my partner who helps with that analysis. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to the channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live, and if the content works for you, hit that all-important like button. Go to shout out to FD White, who brought his whole stream over here. Shout out to you, sir. Richard Barry, first on the stream, welcome. T-Pod, Bull Runner, Joseph from Brazil, welcome. Indie Rock Crypto, so grateful for the grind. Right on, man. It's all about the grind. It really is. Steve J, the man who was long DeFi when nobody thought it was a good idea to be long DeFi. FD is here. Crypto Crazy. James, right? T-Bone. What's up? T-Bone. Bob Marsh, the #1 super fan of Unhinged Crypto. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Unhinged Crypto, where, you know, we have kind of a real chill way of doing things. Right? We got live stream happy hours, and we get videos coming out every day along with shorts where we're kind of giving you, you know, a accurate but less boisterous approach to quitter. No, to crypto. No quitting. No quitting. Okay, Robert Wiley is here. Crypto Locos, what's up? James Bond in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Oh my God, pancakes and peanut butter in the house. What's up? Okay, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about things. The election, let's talk about it briefly. It's over. It's over, right? You had a debate. You had some consternation. You had some fear in capital markets. And then we had a bunch of dog and cat memes come out. He who wins the memes, he who controls the memes, controls the world. The dog and cat memes mixed to songs that were originally designed to troll one candidate became so popular for that candidate, they had to take it down. And then, of course, you have things happening on golf courses. I have no idea how you get two giant backpacks and a long golf club in a bush and get some shots off. Yeah, okay. The big man just gets bigger. And in my mind, this is capital markets friendly. It's capital markets friendly, right? It's almost like, I've said this before, it's almost like they want him to win on purpose. And you know what? The big man and Kennedy in the same administration is massively pro-Bitcoin. And of course, naturally, Bitcoin is down because they're suppressing it. And guess what? That is going to backfire. That's going to backfire. And that's the market update. No, I'm kidding. You have to stick around for the news and the charts because we got a lot of it. Okay, so tonight, most likely the market is down because, you know, the big man's family announced the DeFi project. I was hoping that was going to be kind of like a Bitcoin hedge fund where they were going to buy Bitcoin, get real excited, you know, do debt issuance in Bitcoin. And right now, the only thing I can find about it is, you know, they talk about equitable assets when 70% of it's going to be controlled by insiders. Not exactly decentralized, but I do like the effort. They get an A for effort. I just would love it if they did a decentralized version of let's borrow a bunch of money to buy Bitcoin, just like the big man used to do. Let's borrow a bunch of money to buy skyscrapers. Now that space is currently ongoing. So, you know, I was kind of hoping that that would be a big boost. Fear greed is at 39. Let me tell you something. That's a beautiful number. It is. Because it's not low enough where it's an obvious buy. It's in the hesitation zone. And if you're in the hesitation zone, you have an opportunity for the repeat of last year, right? What happened last year? Well, they puked it on Labor Day, right? They did a new low on 9/11. They did one more dip mid-September, and then boom. They started to grind higher, and then it was launch point in October. I don't see this any different. Neither does Toby, right? She's been saying this was a repeat of the summer. I had no idea that meant to crash. And so far, like the despair, like don't tell me that this price action in Solana is not getting to you. Don't tell me that, you know, you're like, oh my God, this thing topped at 60. Like retail shorts on Bybit actually got gratification. You know what? Good for them. Let's eat the dip. So I got a friend of mine. He says, you know what? Let's eat the dip to 57. We'll go over the tactical Bitcoin charts. People are afraid. Rate cuts are coming. Everyone is like, sell the fact. Yeah, sell what? Yeah, it's the green fiat. And that has already started to break down, by the way. The sell the fact is not in the sell the fact stuff from the last two rate cut cycles. It's not, because the excess, save a couple of stocks like NVIDIA, the excess is not in the private sector. Yes, housing's overvalued. Yeah, we know that. The excess is government debt. And the only way out of a debt problem is to devalue the currency. So they can sit, they being, I don't know, you know, the same people with hiding backpacks. Yeah, they can go sit on Bitcoin all they want. Yeah, okay. We'll see you in November. Actually, we'll see you before that when the Fed's got to put high-powered money into the system, right? Because the last thing that they haven't done, the only thing that they haven't done is try to create a massive ramp in the stock market to make the economy look better heading into November. I mean, they've tried everything. They tried Taylor Swift. That didn't work. So what's left? High-powered money. They did it last year to try to get everybody pumped up for the holidays. They're going to do it again. And when they do it, it's going to be gone. You're going to ask yourself, how come I didn't pay 60? I could have bought it sub 60. Another potentially bullish psychological inflection point, CZ gets out of jail on the 29th. You want to talk about the fist pump of all time? Like, what do you think is going to happen when CZ gets invited to the next crypto conference after getting out of jail? What do you think he's going to say? He's like, you know what? I'm sick of the system. Buy everything. That's what he's going to say. That's what he's going to say. Okay. Uncle Sam, Uncle Sugar puts heavier scrutiny on Binance token listings because it's not enough to put CZ behind bars, right? El Salvador. We don't need to borrow money anymore, thanks, because we're doing Bitcoin. Remember, you got credit cards. You need to keep up with the grocery store. You need to keep up with inflation. You need to invest for your 401k. Everybody is assuming crypto is dead. This is internet stocks 2002. Everything's been invented. Everything's out. Nothing new under the sun. I don't want the Google IPO. Same thing, except, again, as my colleague says, back then, you couldn't invest in the internet. You had to buy clunky hardware stocks like Cisco and Dell. Now, for AI, yes, you can do NVIDIA, but you can also do layer ones. LuxAlgo, by the way, another sponsor of the show, has developed a Bill Noble indicator where we're looking for Elliott wave bottoms and tops. What if I told you that SUI, we did some robot work on this? What about SUI? What about these layer ones? What about these things just breaking out and going? And if they go along with Bitcoin, in other words, folks, we're still doing Web3, just that no one's trading that right now. MicroStrategy had $250 million worth of Bitcoin at 11K. Okay, just in case you think the guy doesn't take any heat, he bought 600 million at 67. He bought 800 million at 68. He only got 6 million at 19K. Michael Saylor never met any Bitcoin he didn't like, and he really likes it when it's up. So these bigger players are going to FOMO in. Now, a brief word about Michael Saylor. Okay. So he's got 244,000 Bitcoin worth $14 billion. A word about this guy. Back in 2000, he started MicroStrategy. The stock exploded and then collapsed on some sort of accounting issue, which, believe it or not, I studied in business school, and my libertarian professor encouraged us to question the hard time that they gave these guys over their accounting. They were actually likely trying to be creative. The stock market didn't appreciate it, but they were trying to account for different things in a different world. Now he's a Bitcoin guy. Now he's famous, right? But he wasn't famous when he bought Bitcoin at 50 and Bitcoin went to 16K and sat there for 6 months. Yeah, he was not that popular. And here's the thing, folks. When you're going to be your own Michael Saylor, you got to buy this market. You got to own this market. You got to DCA in this market. You got to make sure you got capital for this market. You got to do whatever you got to do so that when this thing turns around, you're there. Like, I am so tired of all this bearish horse. You know what? I'm done, right? I want to eat the dip. If I lose money, well, you know what? It's been a harsh range for us macro trend followers. I don't care. I don't care, right? Because, did he care? Like, this is how you make real money. The people who make real money have conviction, not poor risk management, not to be confused with poor risk management, but conviction. In this case, it's time for conviction about the whole space. Everyone's giving the big man a hard time because, oh, well, the project isn't fully decentralized. Okay, yeah, it's not. But you know what? He's trying. They tried. They tried to put their money where their mouth is. If they didn't do the project, everybody would be like, oh, well, they're not putting the money where their mouth is. They got conviction. Okay, did they pick it up late? Did they get the fever a little late? Yeah. Better late than never. Remember, you're never too early. You're never too late. You're right on time. You're right on time. Okay, in previous cycles, when Bitcoin hit the 50-week moving average, it went up at least 40%. The average bounce was 71%, and we just hit the 50-week moving average. Hey, people, there's a lot of research out there. You can look at this. You can look at guys doing stuff after the halving. There's no case to be negative. None. The only thing that's negative is the price action on the screen because it's being suppressed. Period. Right? In other words, why doesn't everything go up? Why is it red every day? It's artificial. Now, I could talk about that, but we can't talk about that. It's bull. It's baloney. Okay? So, yeah, okay. So, yeah, we got backpacks in bushes. Right. Exactly. This is what Ray Dalio predicted. Okay? Not some political theory about social disorder. You see this? There is no reaction. There has to be no political reaction. I actually had somebody really give me a hard time about dogs and cats a week ago. Everyone got upset. Like, you know what? You don't got to get upset anymore because this impacts the dollar. If this kind of stuff is going on, the dollar, right? Banana Republic type stuff. That's crazy, right? Absolutely insane. Okay, the jobs market. So just as a reminder, like when this whole thing with the rate hike started, when they were behind the curve, the thing that scared them the most was how tight the labor market was. Everyone was getting a job. Unemployment was really, really low. And, people were getting hired left and right. All Powell would say at the press conferences, the labor market, he would use the term demand. Oh my God, demand is too high. Okay. So the job numbers were fake, right? 1.3 million jobs lost for people who were born here. And the only thing that's out there is part-time jobs, and a lot of those are going to new people. So where's the hot labor market, right? We're talking about 25 basis points, 50 basis points. Oh, the media loves its minutia, right? They can do 50 basis points. BlackRock has told you that, so you have been told. But the larger picture is that, they over-tightened. They overdid it, and they're going to have to cut and cut and cut and cut in a very systematic, orderly manner unless there's a problem with a financial institution, right? A gold default or something. Why is Bitcoin price down today? I don't know. Well, everyone's worried about the Fed, and the Bank of Japan has a meeting coming up. And I swear to God, throughout the entire history of crypto, everybody freaks out about these central bank meetings. Algorithms at Zero Hedge are like, oh, it's better than expected. Oh my God, the press conference. Who cares? He's over tightened. He's going to cut rates. They're going to put high-powered money in the system for any one of a couple of reasons. The dollar is going lower and Bitcoin is going higher. Period. Now, if they want to wash it out to 55K, you know what, folks? That's Christmas. That's a repeat of last year where they dipped it 3 times in September. And then around, say, the lunar eclipse, which is in 2 days, eclipses can create radical movement. Everyone's like, oh, why is Bitcoin at 58.7? Who cares? The lunar eclipse, the fall equinox, these things are coming. The fall equinox is the change in seasons. There is a full write-up about it. Where is there a full write-up about it? In Patreon, right? These guys have gotten they've got the full 411 on the lunar eclipse and the fall equinox, all again work related to this, plus the Pluto movements on my birthday in November. Don't miss it. I love this. The Bitcoin that backs the Bitcoin ETF now faces a hacker threat. Well, folks, all cryptocurrency faces a hacker threat. And you know what the real threat is about the Bitcoin ETF? Is that they don't have the Bitcoin that they say they have. And if more money comes in, they don't have enough Bitcoin. I'm telling you, they don't have enough. Like, nobody states how much Bitcoin they've got backing that ETF. So the more money that comes in my mind, it exponentially increases the amount of Bitcoin that people are going to have to buy. That's BlackRock, Coinbase, whatever it is they're doing, they need to buy more. And it's going to wind up being the same thing with ETH eventually, because as we're going to go over in the charts, the ETH versus Bitcoin situation has become basically a joke. It is. It's a joke. And the Fed is ready to unshackle the U.S. economy. Now, let's talk about Unshackle. So I'm talking to this guy, right? And he goes, yeah, I had to pick up a night job on Friday and Saturday, an overnight job Friday and Saturday, because I do notaries. So he signs He helps validate signatures on things like trusts, wills, and mortgage applications. Mortgages and houses were his bread and butter. Guess what? In Austin, Texas, done. No mortgages, no refis, no sales, nothing. The Fed has got to cut rates in order to unlock the housing market, because everyone's like, the housing market's going to crash. People, the housing market can't crash because it can't trade. And I don't know that it's going to crash. You just have to make an adjustment to lower prices. Yeah, most housing markets have got it. In the overvalued housing markets have to go down 30 to 40%. But who are we kidding that the Fed can just leave housing not trading, to the point where people who do signatures on mortgages have to get part-time jobs? I mean, that's the market update, people. That's all you need to know, because you're going to have all this economist gymnastics about the Fed. BlackRock already told you. Fed wagers weaken dollar. The 2-year note is rallying. 2-year note interest rates are already like the Fed's going to do 100 basis points in cuts. And we're arguing about how big the cut's going to be. Okay, there's the Unshackle story. Okay, here's our friend Liz, right? Realizing that she is probably going to get voted out of office. Hate to see you go. Hate to see you go. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. But we hate to see you go. Okay? Sorry, there were some words in there I could not say. Bitcoin critic Elizabeth Warren wants 75 basis points. Yeah, man, let's give us 75 basis points for you, the pinnacle of finance, whatever. We have been told just in, BlackRock says the Federal Reserve's interest rate cuts will not be as deep as the market expects. Okay? So BlackRock is saying 25. Other people say they can do 50. I'm sure BlackRock knows. Okay? You know what? If they just do 25, I actually think it's more bullish than if they do 50. Because if they do 25, in my mind, it's like they can't admit that they were wrong. And they're going to have to admit that they were wrong in a major way. But you may get a disappointment trade. Let's think tactically, right? You may get some kind of stupid disappointment trade. You might get 55K. Who knows what they're going to do to ETH? I don't know. But I mean, this, in my mind, is eat the dip. Like, make them force you out, right? The people who shorted it at 60K, they're going to get gratification, but they're going to get greedy. And all it's going to take is one turn lower of the dollar. Gold is already telling you what's going to happen. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, we're having some fun at the golf course, and the Polymarket is probably assuming that that whole thing is over, and it is. And the political meme coins are down 90%, and a word about that. So there were too many political meme coins. They weren't all going to survive. We knew that. There is one for the big man that does nothing but go down. A lot of people were expecting something euphoric before the election. I got people in at 16. I got them back in at 7, out at 5. And I still think that particular coin, if it ever goes back up, will be buy the fact, not sell the fact, because a lot of people are not thinking about what the first 100 days looks like under a new administration, right? Where they basically sit behind a desk all day and they're just signing stuff, right? Bobby's just bringing them stuff. Sign it. Oil, Bitcoin, you know, healthy food, just sign away. Like, that would move a meme coin to me. And even if it doesn't move a meme coin, okay, buy the fact. So this is a Secret Service press conference where this individual is discussing major geopolitical risk about a potential conflict acting as a further threat to the current president. Let me tell you something, folks. You know what they want? They want you to be afraid. And for all the stuff that I talk about, one of the things that's hit me recently is that, you know, I do have a platform here. No, I'm not, you know, I'm not some huge player, but I do have a platform. You know what my message is? The green button and fear is the mind killer. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be afraid of what's going on golf courses. They want you to be afraid of, like, barbecued pets. They want you to be afraid of kinetic conflict. You know what, folks? Things happen. And then again, things don't. Announced conflicts don't happen. And then later on you go, oh, remember when this was the big fear trade? Remember when it was like, SEC says Solana and Cardano and 20 other altcoins are securities. Major dump, massive low. Right? The fear trades are always wrong. They're always wrong. So please go do another one. This is a guy saying that commodities as a whole are poised for a massive rally. This is looking at commodities versus stocks. So obviously you have 7 stocks worth $3 trillion each, and commodities and crypto down only. Okay. How long is that going to last? This is an indication of how massively crypto could catch up. You could have crypto and electricity as commodities absolutely smoke to the upside, because I don't know what drives a rally in commodities unless you have conflict. Right? What commodity would lead that move? Right? This was where stocks were at the tech bubble. Right? This is where commodities relative to stocks are now. So what does that mean? It means Bitcoin 125K and gold 10,000. People think that gold new highs are like, oh yeah, no one's paying attention. No one cares. Yeah, people, you better start caring. Better start caring, because gold up with oil down. I went into the history today. Basically, it's going to mean a big move in oil, which could be down, right? No one has considered that sell the fact after the rate cut could be in oil for economic growth here and in China. And what would happen if there was no conflict and oil crashed? By the way, statistically speaking, lower oil is great for Bitcoin. Higher gold is great for Ethereum. That's a statistical study. Obviously, the market's not interested in doing it now. That doesn't mean the market won't be interested in doing it at some point. What the market is doing right now is testing your patience, wearing you out because Bitcoin slips to 58K as Fed uncertainty, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care, and neither should you. You should care about risk management. You should care about good trading. By the way, if you like good trading, tune into FD White's show. He does a nice show at night with wrap up with some good trading TA. I believe Indie Rock Crypto is his partner in that. If I got that right, those guys know what's up. So risk management, one thing. Fear, no, I'm not doing it. Especially when you see the ETH versus Bitcoin charts. Bitcoin left out. Stocks, bond, gold, everyone rallying. Yeah, why is Bitcoin left out? Is it left out, or are they trying to push it down because they're afraid of it? You create what you're afraid of. Not you. That's the you out there, the not nice you. Yeah, we see you, and we'll see you at 125K when you don't have a job anymore. Ha! Okay, so the markets want 50 basis points. BlackRock says you're not getting it. Okay. Okay, Fed cuts jeopardize Bitcoin rally. See, this is what happens in bear markets when people just like the price action turns them. It's like it melts your mind. And I get it. I totally get it. I mean, I lost my mind on the debate. I was like, oh my God, this thing's going to go to 47K. So it happened to me. It happens to everybody. I just don't want it to happen to you, right? In other words, like, oh my God, something's wrong. Sell the facts. Sell. Yeah, okay, folks, this is what Satoshi wrote the Bitcoin white paper for. And my partner has been pounding the table on decoupling. And decoupling has happened. You have everybody can't stop buying NVIDIA, and no one wants anything in Web3, except, of course, for the Patreon member who bought a $27 report and paid off his credit cards. You don't even have to be a member to shop in the store. But for $15 a month, you can be a member at Patreon. Hello. Yeah. We got a big announcement coming out. Something else something else happening, but $15 a month, you absolutely can't go wrong, right? Major Bitcoin price action looms. Okay, this is people doing research on the halving, right? There was a range before a ramp back in 2020, and they're assuming this is another range before a ramp. I don't disagree, right? In other words, when the market sits still and bores you out of your mind, I remember this boring action at 10K, right? DeFi was so hot in 2020 that people were calling my boss. The Bitcoin maximalists were calling my boss. DeFi was so hot and Bitcoin was so doing nothing that they said, okay, at the top, okay. What token do I have to buy? I'll buy a Bitcoin now. I get it. Bitcoin's doing nothing. I have to get involved. Sure enough, that was the bottom in Bitcoin, and it just launched. And I saw some meme guys tweeting today. They're like, is this thing ever going to go up again? Like, how can you have dog and cats all over the news and dog and cat coins don't go anywhere? Well, one of them did. You had a frog and you had Nero go. At least something went. At least we know we're not dead out there, for God's sakes, right? And again, here's all the FUD, right? They're bringing FUD up from the past. Like Jamie Dimon said, you know, don't trade Bitcoin at 4,000 if you want to keep your job, right? Listing coins on centralized exchanges is bearish. Okay, maybe. In the past, yeah, everything would trade on Uniswap and go to Coinbase to die. That's not untrue, but these centralized exchanges are going to be hot to trot to list anything new that comes out. They're not going to let the decentralized universe eat their lunch on the way up this time. They're not. Does anybody remember this guy, Vitalik? Yeah, he's kind of assumed to be, I don't know. Vitalik's gone out of style, really. So they're not building. They're just all sitting around, not doing anything, huh? Right? Meanwhile, with this ETH staking thing, I think he's building the future of finance. The only interest rate out there in crypto that makes any sense is the staking yield on ETH. Does anyone ever think about that? Like ETH is responsible for the only legitimate interest rate or trackable or sustainable or scalable. I mean, there are interest rates in crypto, right? But the only thing that's actually backed is ETH. Everyone's forgotten this. ETH merged 2 years later. What has changed? What's changed is the person who wrote this article is bearish now. Meme coin season fades on Tron. No more meme coins. It's never going back up again. I've got something in here about like celebrity meme coins. I like this. So money getaway, fake celebrity meme coins, saddest launch ever. So of course there are people who are out there scamming. Yeah, that's bad. It's really bad actually. But you know what, folks? Social capital, celebrities doing meme coins. Maybe Taylor Swift should have done a meme coin instead of whatever she did on Instagram. Don't think that this can't come back. I think it can. Because obviously whatever they did it wrong this time. Now that's probably late cycle. But I think you should start using your imagination because in research, you get paid for imagination. Okay, let's go to some live TA here. Okay, Bitcoin below 58K. This is the Bitcoin 89-minute chart. And what we're doing is we're bringing Bitcoin right into this big, cushy LuxAlgo zone. There are a couple different kinds of X's. Okay, this X on LuxAlgo means it's running out of momentum on the downside. These X's indicate there could be more corrective activity. Believe it or not, we're actually building a Bill Noble LuxAlgo indicator that can try to help you pick bottoms when you get these corrective waves, which are A, B, C, and then X, which is like a little extra, as they say, no pun intended. Basically, we're looking for the transition from consolidation to trend. This, I say, eat the dip. They want to take this down to 56K. They want to hit it. They want to do blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here's the dollar. Here's the chart that no one is looking at. No one. Right? This is a bear flag. Or it's some kind of like just sort of square box. And we'll see how the dollar does if it breaks 100. This is DXY. This is a 4-hour chart. That's 100. If you go to DXY on a daily chart, everyone's looking for sell the fact. Sell the fact is right here, folks. Right here. As one of my friends says, all in plain sight. All in plain sight. I can remember back in the day when Bitcoin was going up, everybody would be like, oh my God, gold is making a new high. Not a word. Not a word. No one cares. If anything, tactically, you might want to be switching to gold over to Bitcoin. But you know what? Why sell gold? Everyone's looking to buy the dip in gold. You may not get one. You may not get one. Yeah, you had a dip in gold. It's called the last 20 years. Same thing could be true with Bitcoin. Okay, let's go to PowerPoint. Let's see who else is here. Okay, Steve thinks Sol versus ETH is ready to launch. And DXY tells it all. Quarter Crawler is here. Welcome. Okay. Crypto Locos thinks I'm done with ADA and I'm thinking about moving over to Sui or Arrow. I can't give investment advice, but I do like Sui and Arrow. Okay. Joseph's been in Sui. Trisha in the house. Daniel J. Man, lunar eclipse coming up. I promised my Patreon people that would be for them. Okay. T-Bone is still buying the big man's meme coin. Again, could be by the fact. Could be. Joseph likes the platform. We appreciate you, sir. Sincerely. Very much so. Aiken, commodity super cycle. Dude, let's go. Okay. Richard Berry, the next big macro thinker. Stocks and bonds and gold rotation ends up going to BCT when the FUD is done. Could not say it better. Routine cheese. We need Bitcoin to decouple from Wall Street. Big Rich thinks super is going to the moon. CryptoPath is here. Welcome. Okay. I'm swinging into PowerPoint. If you put in requests, don't let me forget. I will come back. Some of these charts you got to see. Okay, so here's ETH versus Bitcoin at a tactical level. This is 89-minute chart. And even if you're looking at this 2 or 3 days later, this is still relevant because the ETH versus Bitcoin puking is unbelievable. Like this, I thought this was a give-up trade. This is a give-up trade. I mean, they're just giving up, right? Momentum's are slow. Multiple LuxAlgo buy signals. Total capitulation. The red on red is the total capitulation into what they call the discount zone. Tactically, like at the bottom, I don't know. I think this could not have gotten any more oversold, to be honest. Now, this is ETH, not ETH BTC, but ETH monthly. LuxAlgo equilibrium. It's kind of like a balance. Saves you having to look at 20 moving averages. Balance is 2,300. And that's roughly where ETH is right now, 2,200 and change. Again, why are we selling ETH at 2,200 again? And who knows? Who knows what these ninnies could do to it? I think they're done because I'm in ETH to dip mode. But if they're not done, let's get after it. Because I don't understand why no one sees the future when the dollar is telling you, bond market is telling you, gold is telling you. And you know what? Crypto is rallying from the bottom up. Again, yes, I'm interested in having people come to my Patreon. I'm interested in that, right? I get it. But the simple fact of the matter is crypto is waking up from the bottom up. Arrow popped and has a bid. Fetch, Chainlink, all this stuff, there's been it's gotten a little perky. It's not perky in Solana. It's not perky in ETH. But that shouldn't discourage you, because the market, altcoins in sectors are starting to rally one at a time. SUI did great. We're going to look at the chart. Absolutely going to look at the chart. ETH BTC monthly. Okay, so it's coming into a gigantic support zone from 2020. I guess you can't underestimate what the ninnies can do on the downside, but this thing has got to be plus or minus 1 month from a bottom. Benjamin Cohen said so. LuxAlgo said so. Like, this whole give up on ETH thing, no way. No way. Take it down to 1900. Have fun. Right? You drive Uber or you work the night job with the notary to get the money that you need to get ETH at 2000 if the ninnies want to go do that. ETH BTC on a 12-hour chart, would you look at this downward sloping wedge? In other words, this is just the market. Just, let's push it down, push it down, push it down, hold the basketball underwater. What is going to happen when this thing hits the discount zone, hits all of these like Elliott wave, 5-wave signals, buy signal down here, total overshoot of a buy signal? I mean, it's like ETH BTC is the overshoot of the overshoot. Like, this was the overshoot, and then they did it again. They can do what they want, but I just don't think they can do it anymore. Not to mention, I just saw that the LuxAlgo oscillator on the 12-hour chart has got a bid to it. It's diverging. You got all these new lows, and you don't have a new low in, you don't have a new low in the momentum indicator with all these new lows in price. I don't know, man. Okay, again, this is the daily chart. There's that downward sloping wedge. Look at this capitulation. Look at this, right? Look at this money flow. I mean, everybody has packed it in on ETH as the dollar is either making a bear flag, and Bitcoin, we were looking for 57K, right? The way I think this looks, I got this from, a guy I started working with 2017. This is actually really interesting how he charted it, right? He had the candlestick where you had this down move and then the pop back. That could have been the debate, right? Everyone freaked out. It came straight back, and now you're going to retest that zone, and boom. You retest anywhere from 57 to 55 and hold, especially if you get into that panic debate zone, which was probably the height of bearish sentiment, even though it wasn't the low in price. This thing's going to turn around and take off for 64. And I think eventually that pink resistance zone at 68, because, it's Rectember, folks, and they haven't wrecked it. So if it's supposed to go down and it doesn't, what's it going to do? And I don't care that it's down 2% every day. You're not going to care about that at 125K. You're not. You're not going to care when it's a strategic reserve asset. When the Japanese buy it. There's a company in Japan buying Bitcoin. You think that's the only company? That's the only company in Japan that's going to buy Bitcoin. Everyone's like, oh my God, what's going to happen at the Bank of Japan meeting? I don't know, folks. Look at the problems that country have. We have the same problems. What's the solution? I don't know. I'll spare you having to watch 10 Michael Saylor videos. Bitcoin, right? And ETH has got the same property as Bitcoin because it's money. It's money. Even XRP has a future. Everyone gave up on that, right? What happens if Bitcoin and ETH go and XRP follows, right? Maybe not now, maybe in a couple of months. How's the crypto market going to look when you have Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and XRP all smoking? With AI tokens paying off people's credit card bills at the low. Oh my God, at the low. And that's the market update. Okay. All right. Aiken, a market update OG. Hats off to all the market update OGs, right? Aiken into Turbo, which I saw was up 20% today. We noticed that. Okay. Forta crypto. Well, what do you know? A Coinbase coin, huh? All right. Okay, so nothing happening here that is exciting. Except what? Let's go back to the daily. So the good news about Forta is it's in the discount zone for LuxAlgo. Okay. The bad news is it looks like they're giving up. It looks like they're giving up. But give up trades have an end. I've been getting into 89-minute charts lately. Okay. That's a good LuxAlgo buy signal on the 89-minute chart of Forta. You want to shoot your shot in this? Go ahead. Seriously. I mean, not everything is going to come back. Not everything is going to turn around. And many alts look like not so good, but who cares? Who cares? You want to get involved? You want to take a shot? Let's go for it. Look at this thing. Drift. What a beast. What a beast. Goes up. LuxAlgo puts support underneath it. Man, you know how long you had about, I don't know, you had like a day to buy this on the dip before it resumed. This is what's going on underneath the market right now, right? Somebody else, we got him involved in TIA. Toby saw this on her bubble charts. I mean, again, what's going to happen with TIA if it takes out the 38% retracement? Seen a couple 38% retracements work, right? LuxAlgo coming in with a high conviction buy signal. Look at all this puking. They all sold it. Like, oh, wow, it went to 380 and it went to $5. Now I'm going to get out. Yeah, okay, you're going to get out. And guess what's going to do? Right? Certain altcoins are sending a message. It's not a loud message, but it's still a message. It's still a message, right? Big Rich into drift, right on. Joseph, can we look at AVAX? Yeah, man, let's look at it. You know, AVAX and Sui. Man, do I want to get a hold of some of this? You know, they have that C chain for security tokens. They're breaking our hearts by pushing through this downward sloping wedge. They can't get through the top. Heartbreakers. Equilibrium in AVAX is 30. That's on a daily chart, right? So let me just label this as we go on. And of course, I have to share the screen. Okay, so we have AVAX here. Daily. Okay. Right here. Got to get through 23. If they get through 20, it's 30. It's 30. It is. Just showing the breakout off the lows in some of these other tokens. Look at this move in Fetch. This thing went from $1 to $1.40 on a line. Hit the 38% retracement. They're in corrective mode. Frankly, we're just waiting for the next breakout. If they actually flush it, they flushed it to equilibrium at $1.23. This LuxAlgo equilibrium is actually helping me. It's helping take out this whole thing about having to do fib lines and moving averages. So Fetch is actually at a state of balance, you know, if you missed it on the way up. Interesting, right? Now, I'm going to do something very risky. I'm going to go to a daily chart of SUI. Okay, so as you can see, SUI is trading well. Okay, this actually bottomed in early September and has done nothing but go up since. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. So I'm going to the daily chart. That's a better picture. LuxAlgo is inserting support underneath the rally. So even though people are taking profits, which, that's not a ridiculous thing to do. Okay. But this right here is a LuxAlgo indicator where we're searching all these tokens of all the daily charts looking for confirmed Elliott wave bottoms. This is coming to a theater near you. This is the prototype. So as you can see, the thing that they found, the filter, even though this is hard to read because it's a prototype, Sui bullish 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning confirmed Elliott wave bottom. So imagine with me working with the programmers at LuxAlgo, we're now saying that, hey, we did some computer work and this 5-wave bottom, yeah, that's it, man. The bottom's in. So people are like, should I get involved? Yeah, you should get involved. Maybe they're going to give you a dip to this, excuse me, to this trend line. But guess what? Layer ones are back and everyone's selling. Everyone's taking profits. Everyone's getting out. Okay. The machine doesn't read this part, but it took out the previous 4th wave. And when it takes out the previous 4th wave, the downtrend's over. So if you're looking for a support point, they got one here in LuxAlgo at 99 cents. They got it here at 93. By the way, another coin available on Coinbase. Everyone's like, oh, all coins go to Coinbase to die. Yeah, no, they don't. Okay. No, they don't. Routine Cheese is into Arkham, cheering for that chart to come back. Okay. But it is in the AI space, right? Right. In other words, over on Unhinged Crypto, Unhinged Crypto, on Crypto Happy Hour, we do a lot of work. My colleague does a lot of work with Banter Bubbles. Like I read Gann and LuxAlgo and stuff like that. And DeMark, she reads this. Okay. So, if you look over the last month, somewhere in here, they've got Arkham, which is actually still down. So if you like some of these tokens, but look, over the last month, some of these AI tokens are actually up big. Here's Arkham down 2%. Render's only up 4% because of that migration, right? Look at PAL down 14%. There's a lot of opportunity here. Naturally, you want to go check us out. You want to go check us out on Unhinged Crypto. Okay. It's just basically, instead of the boisterous market update, it's done kind of like two people talking to each other. It's something revolutionary for the insane world. It's called Two People Talking About Crypto, man and a woman talking about crypto. Like a regular man and woman talking about crypto who actually happen to know what they're talking about. No, we're not 25 years old, but that's what makes it good. So get over there. We are at 363 followers. Please give us some love. At Unhinged Crypto is the handle, right? If you can't do Patreon, do Unhinged Crypto. If you can do both, do both. Okay. Now let's see what else we got going on here. Brett is asking, how is TrueFi looking? All right. Well, let's look at it. Okay. So TrueFi, I assume we're not talking about True Finance. True Finance, I love. It's a DeFi project. It had a nice run. Okay. TrueFi, which is True F, right? The symbol. Okay. So obviously no one's having fun in True F, right? This had a major issue. Market cap is down dramatically from its high. And I'll put it to you this way. Let's do this. Let me share the screen. If you were ever going to look at this, it's done essentially 100% retracement of what it did when it came out. When it comes to something like this, you either hold on to it and reevaluate it on a rally. I think that's the collective strategy that we just came out with in the Unhinged Crypto podcast before the market update. In other words, if your accountant wants to dump it to take the tax loss, that's one thing, right? This project tried to boil the ocean. That said, if you still like the idea, maybe you leave it and see how it performs when the market goes up if you've put up with the pain for this long, okay? Alpha, Big Rich likes 6th Street Crypto. 6th Street Crypto is the Hallmark podcast from Patreon. Thank you, Big Rich, for that. Says there's a token unlock coming in Sui. Okay, just be advised of that. Okay, still like the chart on that. Okay, Steve J, Maker bottom. Okay, so let's get Steve some love here. I understand. I think Maker has a new symbol. Yeah, if this is Maker, that looks like a bottom to me. That's a bottom every which way. Assuming this is still the symbol. Okay, you have the LuxAlgo X, the LuxAlgo 5-wave, total red on red capitulation, the green arrow, buy signal before this last puke down. Again, everybody just gave up. Everybody gave up. Everybody gave up. Steve J reminding you to smash the like button every single thing you do. The like button, Unhinged Crypto subscription, turn on alerts, Patreon. New announcement coming soon about a new product. Everything you do helps support the channel, helps me support you. Because again, you know, I've gotten recently very inspired by watching some of the political commentators. You know, some of these guys who take huge risk by saying what they're saying. I'm like, you know what? I don't necessarily have to take huge risk. I can go out here and just be absolutely pro crypto. Just be pro crypto and don't stop being pro crypto. Even if they hit it, who cares? I mean, yeah, we care about good risk management and good trading if that's what you're into. But being pro crypto is something that I can do on my platform, not just for you, not just for me, but frankly, for people in general. Super. Resistance at 95 cents, support at 75 or 80 cents. I think this is relatively obvious that this is head and shoulders bottom, right? Coinbase Coins, T-Bone with the super chat. Sir, I appreciate you. Talking about a guy who supports the channel. Doing a super chat, and he's in Patreon. I appreciate that. Thank you. Really, for real. I don't know, man. What's the upside target on this? I think the bigger point about this is that you got altcoins on Coinbase breaking out while everybody is trying to tell me that Bitcoin's going to go lower. The upside target on this is $1.17. Seriously. Okay. Steve J, right out of my own playbook. Okay. Value is a perception. I learned that at economics class at Rutgers. Yet the average man does not perceive the devaluation of the fiat that they hold. Who knew Steve J was like Michael Saylor part 2? I mean, people, there is absolutely no way. There is no way crypto does not rise again. That includes ETH. That includes Solana. Okay? Because the writing is already on the wall, right? The excess in the system, the sell the fact rally could be in the dollar. It could be in oil. All these things ridiculously bullish Bitcoin. If everyone thinks the same thing, it's always wrong. Friends, I thank you for tuning in late at night. We will see you in Patreon.